Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking at a very important book which I think is very helpful for everybody involved in advocacy. This is both the written and the presentational side of it. The book is called Effective Written Advocacy. It's a guide for practitioners, now into second edition, and it's written by Andrew Goodman, who many of you will know from the Court Guide. It's published by Wildy, Simmonds and Hill Publishing. This is the book here. We'll have a look at it. My wife and I have given it the title, Attention to Detail is the Golden Rule for the Successful Advocate, and that is the future. That's where we're going at the moment. This is the book. I wish I had it when I was a student. That's the front cover, the spine, and then there's a nice bit of detail on the back. The book itself has a very small index, which you can see there, and it's got a few articles and various other things. There's a nice little conclusion, which I think everybody will probably agree with. Read it, and I'm not going to tell you what's in it. What you have got are very useful examples of what to do in the various areas of written advocacy. That's an example concerning a skeleton argument, which more later. Let me show you the front part of the book. There's a foreword to the first edition, which is set out there, and that again is by Mr. Goodman. And then you've got the contents section, which you can see there. And after that, you've then got a table of cases. What you have got is a foreword to the new edition. Have a look at that as well. And then you will see that this is the trend towards written advocacy in practice, which is the title of the beginning of it, and that shows you where we're moving at the moment. What judges want. Summaries. Basically the job is to make it easier for them. Literary techniques for the advocate. Another little point. A lot of this is common sense. Then lots of examples. Here we go, skeleton openings, all sorts of other little things all the way along. This is actually in defendants, and I'm examining legal issues. Now I could go on and on about this because I love the book. It's excellent. However, let me, in the short time we've got, explain what this is about and why it's good. A highly focused approach to a really persuasive written argument is absolutely fundamental today and should not be in dispute. You'd be amazed how many people will argue about that with you, mainly clients. That's the starting point from Goodman's book. One issue which has clearly emerged from the first decade of the CPR, and that is that there's a greater possibility of judicial predetermination of pre-trial opinion, which is likely to influence the outcome of final proceedings. In other words, get your tackle in order right at the beginning, write down what it is you're going to say so that the guy making the decision can read it and just basically the thoughts around where they're going to go with their decision. And it will depend now on whether the written material is of a high enough quality from a skeleton argument or an opening note for the court or tribunal proceedings to actually be as effective as you would like them to be. Goodman's produced a first-class practical guide to modern written advocacy, taking on board the lessons we've learned from the way in which the CPR has developed. And as far as the final proceedings are concerned, and how we actually prepare the case, is really the meat of what this book is about, because you're only as good really as your preparation. It all starts with how competently the witness statements have been drafted to follow the particulars or the defence, and it has become the practice in many courts and tribunals that heavy reliance and emphasis is placed on the written word. Probably much more so than before, and that is the case because time is of a premium when you're actually in the courtroom, and that's part of the reason this has happened. I think this book and the beauty of it lies with the working examples which I've indicated of what you should be trying to achieve when you're doing your actual written work. And before there are howls of criticism, can we say it's probably the best way forward to enable the best formed opinion to be made and to save a great deal of time avoiding irrelevance, because that is the biggest single menace when you're actually trying to deal with a case. The book, in our view, is an advocate's Bible, both because of its invaluable and compelling content, and it illustrates just how far the role of the advocate has matured with the development of the civil procedure rules. The teaching of advocacy, as you I'm sure will know, in the 1970s and 80s was considered poor, and so the restructured bar vocational course, now of course renamed again, sorted it out to a certain extent, and there are moves forward again. Thankfully, the direction Goodman's taken here with the book is to be welcomed, because it gives common sense points throughout. It's effective as written advocacy in its own way, and it's all about the use, of course, of intelligence and the attention to detail. I think you ought to think, as a final point, if you think it's possible to win your case before getting to the court, Goodman will put you on the straightest track available throughout, although there's nothing certain in the litigation process. I'm delighted this book is available. It would have made my life a lot easier as a student and in the early years after pupillage. But it's here now, and thank you to all concerned. Bye-bye.